So earlier we have seen till now that we have single excitation. So now there can be multiple excitations because of impulse. When we are continuously putting hammer on some on a metal bar, we are giving multiple excitations or multiple impulses to it, and that can lead to multiple responses in it, and that multiple responses are going to add up as we move on with time. So we'll be using principle of superposition over here, and we can use that because whatever systems we are learning or we are handling are linear system. There is no non-linearity in our system. So let's say we are starting, we are having two impulses, one F1 and another F2, and they are applied at tau 1 and tau 2 time. So the response will be addition of those two impulses, and we have used that unit response to unit impulse function directly. So this has been helping us in the previous concept also when we introduced the time delay. So the same thing is over here. We have just subtracted minus t1 and tau 1 and tau 2 from that unit impulse function to get the response for f1 and f2 impulse. And this is how let's say this is how an impulse is looking, the response to impulse 1 is looking. This is how the impulse the response to impulse 2 is looking. So the net response will be direct addition of these two response impulses. So let me explain this in more detail. So this is how we have the first impulse was applied at some time tau 1, and this was the response to it. This was the impulse. Over here we had an applied response impulse at time tau 2, and this was the response to it. Let's say this was the response. I'm not having these are general responses. So when we add those, we can get the general response or the final response as something like this, where it is direct addition. And now let's look at general excitation. So this is same as multiple excitations done at infinite number of times. So we have time varying forcing function, and we can now split it to multiple responses, which I said earlier. So let's say we have some impulse f1 applied at tau 1, some f2 applied at tau 2, f6 applied at tau 6, fk applied at tau k, fz applied at tau z. So now we can add them. So this was summation because we had only two. If we have multiple, we have almost infinite number of forcing function. Then we need to integrate it. So if we have finite number, we'll add them and take the summation of it. And if we have infinite number, we'll take the integration of them. And the function which comes over here is the integration of 0 to tau f of tau into g t minus tau. So this was the response to unit impulse function into the forcing function which we have right now, and d tau. So this is called as convolution integral, and this is very important. We can solve any general excitation problem, that is periodic, non-periodic, anything by this. So what we do, the two things which we should know over here: what is the forcing function, what is the equation for the forcing function, and how is the unit response to unit impulse function. That means that that g t minus tau is going to depend on what's the nature of the system. It is damped system, undamped systems, and such. And convol means combine. It is very useful in lab. It has basics of Laplace transformation and useful in digital image processing. And for the most complex response to unit impulse function can be a damped out forcing function, or a damped out, not the forcing function, damping which is considered, and there is a time delay. So earlier we have seen a damping response, and this was the response for damped system, and this was the response for a system which was undamped but having a time delay. So we have just combined those two and got the most complex response to unit function, unit impulse that is possible, which has damping and time delay both. And that's how we will get the response to it. So we can put down the values of f of tau over there or f of t over there and get the values of x, that is the response. And let's look at base excitation. So till now we have seen that the system is being excited, but let's say the system is being fixed at some point, and we have the base which is exciting. So the base can move up and down, and because of that the system can uh, excite get the frequency or get the vibration. This is what happens in our car. If the road is not proper, not leveled, the damper over in the car, and the car is the system, and the base excitation means the excitation or vibrations which we are feeling from the road. So this is the equation where z is the x minus y, or that is the relative displacement or relative motion, and y is the absolute motion of the base. And we have made some small changes, and we have got a very similar equation to what we have achieved over here. The mass gets cancelled, so the force as a mass gets cancelled, so we have acceleration left and sign, and we have assumed a non-damping frequencies. So the damping is 0. So that's the only difference. So we stop over here.